All right, when you hear this news, what do you think? Should the Browns sign Dez?
No, I don't think so. It's not really because of talent. It's because his personality right now is too strong for that locker room. I don't think he's going to be good for the culture and what they're trying to build. You got a young quarterback who you just drafted. You got young players around. And to me, and being in the locker room with a guy like Dez Bryant, I think his personality is just too strong. I think he's going to take over, with the coaches. He's going to take over with the players. And you're trying to establish something new there. And bringing in a guy like him, to me, right now, where they are, they're just too fragile of a locker room to bring him in.
I agree. I mean, but I understand why the Browns are doing it, because with the uncertainty of Josh Gordon, you have to think about it. You need a body. I felt all along Dez Bryant was going to get a call once he turned down the Baltimore offer if someone got hurt. Okay, now they don't know. It could, as John Dorsey said, it could be a day, could be a week, could be a month. We don't know. So with the uncertainty around him, you have to at least look at it. But I would be very hesitant to do it for the very simple reason that Shawne mentioned, is that look at what he did to Dak Prescott's development. Because he is a dominant figure, he's a dominant voice, he's never been anything but a #1 receiver. He goes in there. How comfortable is Dez going to be being the number 2, the number 3, the number 4? Skip, he was getting 7, 8 balls thrown at him a game. What happens if you cut that down in half? Okay, he gets 4 balls thrown at him. He catches 2. Is he going to be happy? Baker, bruh, he on the side. Bruh, I only got 2 balls thrown my way. I would be very, very cautious to do this. They might be on the potential of building something really good. And I just believe that where he is now in his career and where they want to be with this team, I don't think it's a great fit.
And by the way, Baker Mayfield's makeup is a lot different than Dak Prescott's. Dak is more stoic, a little more patient, a little more conservative, a little more shake it off, go to the next play. Baker Mayfield would be right back in Dez's face, and there would be clashes going on the sideline. So I'm with your point, but my overall view of this is, if you told me 1 year ago it would come to this for Dez Bryant, that the only potential offer on the table that we know of, as camps have opened, is a plan B for the Cleveland Browns, a backup emergency plan in place of a Josh Gordon. And I don't know if Josh does come back in 2-3 weeks. Would he be out? Would he be gone? Would he only be like a plan C or a plan D? This is Dez Bryant.
I believe if you'd asked Dez that last year, he wouldn't have thought his career would be where it is right now. Because, when they asked him early in the season, Skip, would you think about taking a pay cut? He was like, hell no, I ain't taking no pay cut. Now he would gladly accept $6 million to play for.
But to me, you can ask Dez that 5 years from now. He's still going to tell you he's worth 10. He's still going to tell you that. But that's the problem. And that's to what you just said. That's why the Cleveland Browns and him being a option and not a #1, that's why that's the only thing available to him right now, because they still believe he's still Dez Bryant of 3, 4, 5 years ago. So that's the problem.
I guess the worst decision Dez Bryant ever made was turning down the Baltimore Ravens, Ozzie Newsome's offer.
3 years, $21 million.
So it's $7 million, about what Crabtree got to sign there.
Jordy Nelson was right around that number. Alec Hearns was right around that number from Dallas, about $6 million. Okay. The numbers are, that's what it is.
And when Dez Bryant turned that deal down, I think the league turned on Dez and said, well, if he didn't want that. And Ozzie has a reputation for taking those sort of problems in, and they find a place and a home and a new start, and I thought it was perfect for him. And now camps have opened and Dez Bryant doesn't have a job? Really?
And the only reason, think about it, here's a guy that the only reason he looks like he's going to get a call if somebody gets injured. That's not what a guy of that caliber is supposed to have to wait on. And you don't want to see anybody get hurt, but that's what he's waiting on. Because if they thought Dez could help them right away, they'd have signed him in April. They'd have signed him in May. They'd have signed him in June. Here we are. Everybody's going to camp with the exception of, I think, the last team's report on Saturday.
He won't end up with a team that's trying to build. He's going to be with somebody that's already established. Someone who's trying to build the locker room, build your team up, and get back on the right track. Dez ain't going to end up with them. He's going to end up with somebody that's already established. That got a
with culture in the locker room.
With culture in the locker room, right. Just a strong locker room that he can't come in and disrupt.
Well, if that team happens to run, let's say, the West Coast offense that Dez has not ever been a part of, he better get in there sooner than later, or he's not going to have any chance to figure that out on the fly.
The thing is that what people want, Skip, is they want guys that can play multiple positions. You got to be able to play the X, the Y, the slot. You got to play all of that. Dez has basically only played one position his whole career. So now you're asking him not only to learn multiple positions, but learn multiple positions in a different offense.
Yeah.
It's easy to learn multiple positions when you've been in an offense for an extended period of time. But when you go to a different offense, you need to just concentrate because you can't let your ability show if you're guessing. If you're thinking like, what I got, am I supposed to run the comeback or do I got the dig? Do I got the square out or do I got the over? You thinking about all that.
And him coming into a new coaching staff now, Dez ain't willing to do that. He ain't going to do that. I've been there, leaving the team, and you're there for 5-6 years, and you go in front of new coaches for the first time. They know you as Dez Bryant, but they don't know your work ethic. They don't know how you come in the locker room every day. And for him to come out and have to prove himself in front of a new coaching staff all over again, I just don't see that happening. I don't see him, conforming to what a new coaching staff want. If they want him to, after he catches the ball, run to the end zone every time just to finish the play. Dez ain't doing that. He's already, in his mind, he's established he shouldn't have to go back to doing those things again. If they ask him to do something that's out of character for what he's done for the past 5 or 6 years, he's not doing it, and that's why he's not going to be able to go to a team that needs to be established.
Did you have a struggle when you went to a new team?
No, absolutely. I went from the Chargers to Buffalo to the Buffalo Bills. They asked me to play defensive end. I said, what the hell wrong with y'all? I just went to 3 Pro Bowls and outside linebacker. Why would you have me put my hand in the dirt? But, if the coach want you to do that, you put your hand in the dirt and you do what they ask you to do. Now, I sucked at it. I was terrible. Until they let me stand up and do what what I'm capable of doing. Also, training camp. I was taking 50 and 60 plays again, doing practice.
Right.
I wasn't trying to go back to doing that again.
Right.
You're proving yourself all over again, running to the ball every single play. Or, some coaches that know you already know that, hey, in the game, he going to go make that play.
Right.
These new coaches don't know that. So if you're Dez Bryant and they want you to start over again, rebuild who you are, he's not going to be open to doing that.
It's hard. It's hard when you've been doing something for one way for an extended period of time. In Dallas, Skip, he was a god. He's Dez Bryant.
He was.
So you get to do Dez Bryant things. You go to a new team, they looking at you like, bruh, you ain't do none of that for us. We need to see what you about.
After 2014, I thought he just might be the best receiver in all of football.
You can make that case.
He wasn't just on the cover of Sports Illustrated after that season. He was on the cover of Rolling Stone. He crossed over. He was a national celebrity where he was Rock Nation, obviously, Jay-Z. He was one of their first big clients. And Jerry Jones gave him the ranch. He bet the ranch on it because that was a big contract that he got.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, his body started to betray him. Both of you know how that feels when all of a sudden this starts to go and that starts to go, and you're just not who you used to be. And it got to the point last year when he led the league in drops. As a Cowboy fan, I finally said, I'm out. I need addition by subtraction. My team will be better going forward, and now they're all talking about it, with no Dez Bryant hanging over the locker room or the huddle because he couldn't live up to that kind of distraction.
He's been a number one since he set foot in the NFL.
Yeah.
He goes to Cleveland, he's not going to be the number one. How does he handle that? Skip, he couldn't handle catching, 55, 60 balls last year. That might get cut in half. When you've been here, man, it's even going to here, let alone going to here.
But John Dorsey says he likes him because he worked him out. He used to be the Packers personnel guy, and he worked him out before the draft in Lufkin, Texas, where Dez is from. And he liked the way he handled himself because Dez is a fiery, he says,
Skip,
I like
you know
the way
how
he
long ago
competes.
that's been?
I know. It was a long time ago.
Well, hell, Dez is not that guy that he worked out in Lufkin. Dez can't run like that. Dez can't jump like that. Dez doesn't have anything back then. What was that, 2010 draft?